Hello and welcome to my first ever board game YouTube video where I've actually recorded something and not just streamed it. I'm going to do top 10 games of 2019 that I own. These are not going to be what I've played through other people or game stores, or this is not going to count anything that I've gotten since Black Friday. Me and my wife's gotten about 5 or 6 more games between Christmas and Black Friday deals, so this is not going to include these games. So here we go. Number 10, Battle for Rokugan. I've only played the two-player version of it. If I play with more players, it could move up. It is set in the Legend of the Five Rings universe. It is a tabletop military strategy game. And it is amazingly fun, even with just 2 players. Number 9, Exploding Kittens. A friend introduced me to this game a few years ago. I had a New Year's Eve party, maybe, and it's extremely fun. Plays up to 5 players. The problem is I tend to have more than 5 people wanting to play. Basically, it's a game where you just you play however many cards you want from your hand, and you don't draw a exploding kitten at the end of your turn. If you do and you don't have a disarm, you're out of the game. And you keep going until there's only one person left. Number 8, Codenames. Slowly becoming one of my favorite games. There are several different versions of Codenames. We have just the basic version. What it is you have 2 teams. It's much more fun with 6 players than 4. So that the 2 players on your team can discuss and you just see how people think that are different than you. So the 2 spy masters try to get their team to say one of the words on the board that match with the card that is on your side using one-word clues, which is fantastic watching people try to struggle with that. Number 7, Red Dragon Inn. It is definitely a drinking game. This is the only drinking game we own, and you don't have to drink to enjoy it. My wife will drink very little and has fun with it. I will set up different drinks for the different cards that force you to drink. So I'm taking a shot of something after every turn, whether it be water or very nice bourbon. What it is, you're 4 players. You can have, with the expansions, you can play with more. And you sit around a tavern. This is what the Dungeons and Dragons group does while they're sitting around killing time in the inn. It's extremely fun. The expansions with the players, they play a little bit differently, but the base game, they pretty much all play the same. And you play until your health, or your constitution, or your alcoholic matches each other on the board, or you're too drunk to play. Number 6, Wingspan. One of the biggest games of this year. We were able to get a copy of it. It's fun. It's an engine building game based on birds. The box is really nice. The components are really nice. My wife, we got it because she's a big bird person like her mother, and she does not win every game. She will struggle with it at times, and I've seen other people struggle pretty heavily with this game. Me, I like engine building games, picked it up with no problem. Number 5, Ray Colt. We went to a board game store. They had it on their new games table. It looked cool. We didn't have a game like this, and we tried to never buy duplicates of the same game or same game type. It does happen, but we try to avoid it. This is a European style people placement, worker placement is what I'm looking for, and it will. I don't think I've lost a game. I mean, I've never played with more than 2 players. I've beaten my wife just about every time. She's not a fan. Multiple steps, and it's extremely fun. And you kind of have to think strategy out for that entire turn. You don't really have to play too much of what your opponent's doing. You just have to be as productive as you can on your turn. Number 4, Mecha Koro. So, I played this game at a board game parlor event. Someone introduced me to it. Instantly loved it. I got it for like a birthday or Christmas, like right away from the wife. And it is extremely fun. It is similar to Wingspan in that it is a engine building game. But other than that, that's it. That's the only thing it has in common with Wingspan. You roll dice, you buy different parts of the city, and you slowly build up. So if you roll a 1, you get something. If someone else rolls or say one of the items is someone rolls a 2, everybody may collect coins. And you buy the 4 big pieces, and once you buy those 4, you win the game. Number 3, Flux. Very good game. I have Flux. I have the Marvel Flux, and I have the Fairy Tale Flux. Fairy Tale Flux is basic, generic, simple rules. Really easy to play. The different themes, there are several different themes. And for a game that runs $10 to $20, that's based on theme. It is well worth it. Replay value is always high. The big thing with Flux is that the rules always change. You start off with, you draw 1, you play 1 card. I can turn around and play 4. Then you have to play 4 cards. You play them in any order you want, but you have to play 4 cards. So if you only had 2 cards to begin with, you play them both. And every round, when you draw a card, if it's still draw 1, play 4, you have to play whatever you have in your hand. If you play with bigger groups, I've played with a group of 8 before. The game took about an hour. The rules kept changing. It was super fun. It's a lot easier when you put the rules out, that when people change the rules, you just read them out on every turn and people will pick it up pretty easily. I played with 2 players. My wife beat me in 5 minutes. It was like draw 4, play 3, and she drew the winning hand. Number 2, Batman, the animated series, City Under Siege. I saw this, a YouTube video for it. I said I need to have it. I was a huge Batman fan growing up in the 90s. It's all Artworks animated series. My wife was like, sure, go ahead. So we pre-ordered it, and I love it. You can play up to 4-player co-op. You get to play as some of the main people from the series, including Commissioner Gordon and I think Catwoman's a good guy in this one. And you have to go through different storylines, defeating the villains. I have picked up the hero click, so like the minis are a little bit more detailed, and for some of the villains as well. It's a fun strategy game. You can lose. That has really nice like buildings that can be destroyed, and if you're a Batman fan, it's a great game. Number 1, Spirit Island. I was introduced to Spirit Island from 3-minute board game reviews. Fell in love with it. Bought it. Played it. Continue to love it. I've never won a single player game. You can play a single player, or you can play up to 4. With the expansions, I think you can get up to 6. So I think it's the newest expansion. I think went through Kickstarter only as of right now. But what it is the white man has came to your I think it's South Pacific Island. The little white people look like little conquistadors. They have taken over the island, and you as a spirit have to work with the natives to eliminate the foreign invaders from your land. There's different difficulty levels. You can play 3 different European nations. You can add scenarios on top of that. The game never plays the same. Each spirit has their own different powers, and I can sit down and teach it to anybody. It does take a little bit of time. First time playing it, if you play with 4 people, expect 4 hours. The average is about 30 minutes per player. I think my group, we can do it about 45 minutes per player. And it's fun. You get powerful cards as you build up over time. And you're struggling at the end, boom, you drop down a powerful card, and it wipes a lot of the board clean. And you basically have to scare them into submission, and they will eventually be rid of the island and not want to live there. Fear is the biggest points in that. You can get fear a variety of different ways. The fear effect cards help tremendously on the board. Then your spirit has several unique powers as well. I highly recommend it. Go check out a review for it. I can't praise that game enough. It's genius, whoever came up with it. With that, thanks for watching my first video. These will probably get better over time when I do them. I'm not a big fan of on YouTube videos of just recording. Make sure you check out my Twitch and my Mixer channels. Links will be in the description. Follow me on Twitter for board game stuff and video game stuff. We'll eventually be live streaming weekly board game streams on Twitch. So that'll be Sunday nights here in the U.S. Come and stop by, and thanks for watching. Everybody have a happy new year.